Hello students, this is the third video about the future. In this case, we're going to talk about future in present continuous. Now, as we were talking in previous videos, we have three forms of talking about the future. We have future will, we have future going to, and we have future is are or ing. That's present continuous when we talk about future. Today we're going to discuss this type of future. But when do we use the present continuous for the future? Probably you know that present continuous is used to talk about events right now. For example, I am speaking in English. Estoy hablando inglés. I am speaking in English right now, in this moment. But present continuous can be used to talk about the future as well, when the future is 100% possible. So, future will is not very likely, it's not very probable to happen in the future. Going to, it is very likely to happen in the future. And present continuous is very, very likely, it's 100% likely to happen in the future. So as it is so likely to happen in the future, it usually includes dates, places, or even times when we talk about this. Now, let's see a little bit, a few examples. But first, we need to know this. In present continuous, we need to use the verb to be. So we always say, I am. We always say he is, she is, it is, and we always say you are, we are, and they are. It's important to remember this. Now, if we are using the affirmative form, we start with the subject. Then we use the verb to be, am, is, or are, depending on the case. Then we need a verb with ing, and finally a complement. In this complement, we usually include times, dates, or places. So we can make the differentiation between what is happening right now and what is happening in the future. Let's see a few examples. Jason is meeting me tomorrow morning. As you can see, we have is, we have meeting with ing, and we have tomorrow morning. This tomorrow morning indicates that we are talking about the future. Let's see another example. I am going fishing this weekend. In this case, we are talking about this weekend. So we know we are talking about the future. And Luis and Carlos are having a coffee at 3 p.m. In this case, we are talking about 3 p.m. We know it's about the future. Now let's go with the negative. In this case, the negative is subject. Then we have the verb is, are, the verb to be, and the word not. The word not indicates the negative. Then we have the verb ing, and finally the complement. For example, we are not seeing each other today. In this case, you can see the words are not can be contracted into aren't. So we can say we are not seeing each other today, or you can say we aren't seeing each other today. Edgar is not cooking dinner here, and here is not can be contracted into isn't. So we can say Edgar is not cooking dinner here, or Edgar isn't cooking dinner here. And another example, Chileans are not returning to class in June, or Chileans aren't returning to class in June. Now let's see the questions. In the questions, we start with the verb to be. We start with am, is, or are. Then we have the subject, the verb ing, the complement, and finally the question mark. A few examples of these are: is Alison visiting us tonight? Am I taking care of your kids during your date? Are students reviewing the videos on Saturday? In all these cases, we have a certain complement telling me when it's happening, when this is happening. And in all these cases, it is happening in the future. Now, let's go with a few examples and a few exercises. So in this case, we have the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative, or the questions. I'm going to give you one, you have to tell me the others. If the affirmative is, he is coming to town in March, what's the negative? Can you tell me the negative? The negative in this case is, he is not coming to town in March, or he isn't coming to town in March. Can you tell me the question? What's the question in this case? The question in this case is he coming to town in March? Let's see a different example now. Now we have the negative. The negative is, we are not starting the game at 5, or we aren't starting the game at 5. Can you tell me the affirmative? What's the affirmative? In this case, the affirmative is, we are starting the game at 5. Now, can you tell me the question? What's the question? In this case, the question is, are we starting the game at 5? Let's see a different example. Now we have the question. The question is it raining on Tuesday afternoon? Can you tell me the affirmative? What's the affirmative? So in this case, the affirmative is, it is raining on Tuesday afternoon. Can you tell me the negative now? What's the negative? In this case, the negative is, it is not raining on Tuesday afternoon. Let's go with the final exercise. Now we have the question, is James fixing my laptop today? Can you tell me the affirmative? What's the affirmative? So in this case, the affirmative is, James is fixing my laptop today. Can you tell me the negative now? What's the negative? In this case, the negative is, James is not fixing my laptop today, or James isn't fixing my laptop today. Thank you very much for your attention.